What's going on, people? Today I'm going to be reviewing a crazy box set. This will be my review of Flash Gordon, the 1980 version, 40th anniversary. But unlike everybody else who's reviewing the Arrow version, I will be reviewing the imported Studio Canal version. Or at least I imported it because I live in the US. Studio Canal is based out of the UK. There are actually a lot of differences that I will be talking about in the special features portion of this review, but just to give you guys a small bit of what you get extra just in case you didn't want to wait. What you get with the Arrow version is a 2-disc box set. You have the 4K version and you have not the Blu-ray version, but the Blu-ray special feature disc. That is a little weird, and that is why I went with the Studio Canal imported version, because that actually comes with the 4K version. The Blu-ray version, the Blu-ray special features disc, and the newer Blu-ray special feature disc that I will talk about in the special features section. That is a big, long documentary about this film. And then you get the soundtrack that is done by The Who. They did the soundtrack to this movie. It is awesome, and it is all in this box set. Along with it, you also get a few other extras that I will talk about with these special features. But I just figured that this would be the best version to review for you guys, and to let you guys know that, hey, this Studio Canal version is where it is at. So without any other further ado, I'm going to go straight into the movie itself. And I would just say that this movie is a cult classic. And it deserves it. It has a lot of ambition and a lot of energy. And man, does this movie want to be like Star Wars. Which is funny because Flash Gordon was actually a comic book and an old school like serial back when George Lucas was growing up. And one of his main influences for Star Wars was Flash Gordon. And now it is like the snake is coming around and eating its own tail because, yeah, now Flash Gordon wants to be Star Wars. And boy, does it ever. I mean, and man, does this movie fall flat on its face. When in regards to that, if you are looking for a movie that will substitute or like satiate the same itches as Star Wars would, you're not going to find it here. This movie is cheesy as hell, and it has so much sexual innuendo. It is ridiculous, and the creators of this movie know it. This movie, I saw it when I was a kid, and I didn't understand the appeal, and now I get it. Because the innuendos here are so hilarious and so blatantly obvious to anybody that is a little aware and mature. Man, it is incredible how they shoehorn them in here. And the lead guy, Sam J. Jones, he is a terrible, terrible actor. Just terrible. He is terrible in this movie. He is terrible everywhere I've seen him, even in Ted. You know what? That was a cool guest spot in that movie, but he's just a terrible actor. He should not be a lead. He does not fit in as like a football player like he is in this movie. It is craziness. And Max von Sydow is hamming it up as the villain here. And you know what? Besides the sexual innuendos in this movie, you would just laugh at these performances because they are capital B bad. And it is just awesome. It comes right back around, and it just leans on the side of just campy, awesome gold. Fight scenes in this movie are pathetically bad, and the costumes in this movie are made out of like paper mache. They are terrible. There is a secondary villain that has like this plastic mask, and when he talks, it is like you can't even tell because the mask barely moves. It is awful, but so funny. And you know what? This movie has its own very odd appeal, and for that, I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. And so how is the video quality? Well, this movie was given a brand new 4K scan and now has a 4K digital intermediate. And with that, it was also given Dolby Vision support. And that is important because you have a color palette that has so many different colors to it, that is so bright and garish, that there is only one other movie that I have reviewed for you guys that has this kind of color palette, and that is Batman and Robin. But the color palette and just the bright colors just are HDR gold. They're what you want for the HDR and the 4K format. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but just to touch on the other facets of the video quality here, you know, you have a picture that is just razor sharp at times and very, very, very clear, and just it has so much clarity here that it is beyond what this movie even deserves. Depth perception is just great here, and with the exception of some wide shots that come across a little bit soft, fine edges all throughout. There is amazing detail here as well when you're talking about strands of hair, close-ups, pores on people's faces, the stupid facial hair on Max von Sydow. It all is rendered excellently here. And, you know, this clothing, as bad as it is, the wardrobes in this movie are just ridiculously terrible, but you can see every bit of terribleness of it. You can actually see how bad the wardrobes are in this movie because of the level of detail here. Along with that, the sets here are ridiculously detailed and terrible as well. Now, for the HDR and Dolby Vision, and the showstopper of this whole entire disc, this movie has some bright, bright colors. And I'm not just talking like small, vivid colors. I'm talking about bold, bold reds and harsh, harsh yellows at times, and just eye-popping greens. This was an ugly movie before this 4K disc, and now it's an HDR showstopper. They have totally cleaned this up and made it just eye-poppingly good. The reds, the yellows, the greens, all of it here is just literally, it pops off the screen, and you will love it for that. Along with that, shadow detail is excellent here as well, and blacks dip perfectly to black, and you can see oh so greatly into them. I do have to give this a 9 out of 10. Almost a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for the softness from time to time. But this is just an awesome transfer, people. Pick this up. But unfortunately, we are only given a DTS-HD 5.1 mix here and not upgraded to audio. That is, in my experience, what Studio Canal does. They don't like to upgrade the audio. So here it is here. And it is distracting at times. The speaker separation here does not feel as natural as some films out there today. But for me, it just accentuates the cheesiness of this movie, and I really do like the 5.1 mix here. You will get lasers coming from every speaker, and bass response here, you know, with that Queen soundtrack, it kicks in, and it goes, Flash! Oh! It kicks, and I can't lie about that. And vocals here are excellent as well. Surrounds get heavy usage. Look, this is a pretty good mix. I really wanted a at least a Dolby Atmos mix out of this, just because of the fact that I feel like this movie could kill with the right Atmos mix. But hey, what are you gonna do? I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. Now, there is no digital copy here. That is one thing that Studio Canal doesn't like to do. But don't worry about it, because the special features here will totally make up for this. The special features here are ridiculous. Now, with the old Blu-ray, you get all of those special features put on the 4K disc. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you will get not one, not two, but 3 audio commentaries. One from the writer, one from one of the one of the C-grade actors in the movie does a whole entire commentary. It's gonna be the guy that like bonks people on the head during that action scene where where Flash Gordon does the football moves on the guards. Yeah, that guy, the bird guy. He does an entire commentary here. And, then there is a radio commentary where a radio show did a commentary on this film, and that is available here as well. And then you have about 10 featurettes that range from interviews to behind the scenes and so much here. You get theatrical trailers. All of that is on the 4K disc. And then you have a separate disc that is brand new for this edition that has one featurette that is about an hour and a half long on it. It is called Life After Flash, and that one goes into like the comic strip all the way through the making of the film to the cult appeal of the film afterwards, where it took the comics afterwards. So much goes into that. It actually had a previous release of its own, but that is included here also. And then on top of that, so that is 4 discs. So you have the 4K, you have the Blu-ray, you have the special features on the Blu-ray, and then you have that new disc that I just talked about. The 5th disc is the Queen soundtrack for the film. Now, that is only available to you guys if you get the Studio Canal version, along with the Blu-ray version of just the film itself. That is only available in the Studio Canal version. That is not on the Arrow US version. With both versions, you do get the production stills and the poster. But along with that, with the Studio Canal version, you also get 3 booklets that go into different aspects of the making of this film. It is awesome. And then on top of that, you get like a little thing that you can iron onto a shirt that you have, and it will be the Flash Gordon symbol. So much of this is just crazy ridiculous what goes into this box set. But for the Studio Canal version, what I love about it also is it is such an awesome box set that it actually has room inside where you would fold the box set up for all of the booklets and everything that comes with it. It has like a little crease where you can put all of it in. It is awesome, and it is so cool and practical. I love it. 10 out of 10. So for my last looks at Flash Gordon, you have to love cheesy, shitty movies to like Flash Gordon, because it's a cheesy, shitty movie. But it is a very, very good one. And it has so many sexual innuendos, and just at times it understands how shitty it is and how cheesy it is. And at times it doesn't, and you just gotta relish with it. The action here is ridiculous. The set design is crazy, and the special effects here are so bad. I'm talking like, this movie looks like, with the special effects, it was made in the 60s. That bad. But it is so good for it. And then when you add up all my scores for this Studio Canal version of Flash Gordon, it comes out to a 33 out of 40. Look, if you like this movie, this is the only way to own it, in my opinion. The ultimate way to own it. It will give you so much to chew on, and so much just to learn about the making of this movie and all of it, that, trust me, you will love this if you love this movie. And so, coming up next on the channel, I do have to review Beetlejuice when that comes out September 1st. And the matter of fact, there are a few releases for that week that I do have to review, because there are a lot of reviews coming out in September. September is going to be a busy month. But until then, I do have to come out with some videos for you guys to hold you over until September 1st. Wait for those. Those are going to be pretty good as well. And I will see all of you next time.